start with the wins or losses?
Let's flip a coin. No, I'm just kidding. Or you want to rock, paper, scissors?
Let's rock, paper, scissors. Ready?
Ready? 1, 2. Oh, paper covers the rock, baby.
Chris got me.
All right, let's start off with the wins.
All right.
And the losses are going to go into the practical.
All right, let's go with the wins. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode on the Dynamic Lifestyle Podcast. And most importantly, Happy New Year to all of you guys out there. I hope you guys had a great New Year's Eve. Cheers to a brand new year, 2019. Crazy that we're almost close to 2020, which that sounds kind of scary, but I know this whole year's going to go fast. And Chris, I just want to say, Happy New Year to you as well, too.
Happy New Year, and Happy New Year to you as well, too, man. It's been quite a ride in 2019, wouldn't you say? Which is what we're going to kind of talk about, but
yeah,
I'm excited about the new year. I really am. That's all I can really say. I'm excited about it. Just 2019 was tough. A lot of good, a lot of bad.
And it's like it's true. When people tell me, oh gosh, this year was terrible. I can't wait till the new year because I just want to put that year behind me. That's kind of how I feel about 2018, where there's a lot of good stuff that happened in 2018, but there was a lot of bad stuff. But it was eye-opening, right? It's all kind of just like lessons learned, and that's just the way it is. It can't all be, sunshine and rainbows every year. There's no way.
No, exactly. Like I've heard people say, like, oh, I've had the worst year, and I can't wait for the next year. And it's like, that's like playing the victim role. It's like, so you're going to tell me out of like a whole year that not anything good came out of it. Come on, So it's just about like what you said. It's just a roller coaster. It's ups and downs. You just gotta just take it for what it is.
So what's your New Year's resolution? See, I had to put Chris on the spot, guys.
I think I'm gonna step back on stage this year. I think I'm gonna do it. I really do.
If you guys are watching the video, I'm laughing because I can't take that serious.
I'm just kidding, guys. I'm not going to step back on stage. I don't know. Don't have any huge New Year resolutions, but I'm excited about this episode because we're going to talk about some of the wins and losses and some really good practical steps people can take for 2019.
Absolutely, and that's what it's all about, guys. Is just wins and losses, and most importantly, with the losses, I'm always going to say, get back up. If you get punched, get back up, and that's what it's all about. You just dust yourself off, and you keep going, and you just learn from that loss, and you try to not replicate that, right?
Exactly.
All right. So let's get into these wins and losses. And the way I kind of want to structure this is, I want to go over our wins and losses, but I don't want to go in too much detail because for time's sake, and I want to make this show more practical. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
I want to give the listeners more practical application going into 2019, like steps and just suggestions that we're going to try and that we tried in the past years that have helped us going into a new year.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, so should we start with the wins or losses?
Let's flip a coin. No, I'm just kidding. Or you want to rock, paper, scissors?
Let's rock, paper, scissors.
Ready? Ready? 1, 2.
Oh,
paper covers the rock, baby.
Chris got me.
All right, let's start off with the wins.
All right.
And the losses are going to go into the practical.
All right, let's go with the wins. So the first win for me in 2018 would be more speaking engagements. And it's cool because we had a vision to do this in 2017, right? That was one of our big goals for 2018, to do more speaking engagements around the world at conferences, seminars, even local ones, just to improve that skill set of public speaking, and more importantly, just to get our messages out there, right? Get our our book out there, get our business mindset, fitness, whatever you want to say. But we did probably about 7 to 8 speaking engagements within the past year in 2018, so it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was quite a bit, and it was just it was cool because the first quarters, when we got a lot of them in,
Mm-hmm.
We went to Orlando, we went to Phoenix, we went to the Arnold in Ohio.
We went somewhere else, San Diego,
yeah,
somewhere else,
and San Francisco, mentor blocks. So it's just it was crazy just going back and forth. It was a crazy first quarter.
Yeah, and what was cool is I think that kind of made me realize with all those back-to-back speaking engagements that I don't necessarily want to do that going forward, that where it would be so many lined up like that.
Yeah.
Just because I think that's hectic, traveling and speaking and stuff. I love traveling, but it's just a lot. It's very draining. You get behind on your work, your content that you're trying to put out, everything. So some of the cons on that is just, it's really overwhelming when you're traveling and speaking. But with the speaking engagements in 2018, our whole goal was to, like we said, get more speaking engagements, and then we wanted to put together a speaking reel, and then have a landing page built out for 2019. So we are pretty much done with that, and it's turned out amazing. So what we did was we hired, videographers every time we went to go speak off Craigslist. This is a ninja tip for you guys. If you guys ever do speaking engagements, go on Craigslist, hire a videographer. They're not very expensive. There's people looking for work. They'll come film your speaking engagement, teaching lesson for $100. And that content is so valuable. It is. I mean, it's social proof. It builds authority. The list goes on. So that was one of our main goals, was to build that speaking reel, have like 2 to 3 minutes worth of, just clips of footage of us, in the moment speaking, just showing, how we do that, right? Yeah. And then having the landing page to, for other people to book us going forward, because that's what we want to do going forward is, do more paid speaking, right? We didn't do a whole lot of paid speaking this year, which again, that was a con because it's very cost efficient, right?
But it was a sacrifice.
It is.
It was sacrificing an investment.
Yeah, I 100% agree, and you have to do that. Yeah. But it was very expensive to travel, hotels, food, everything. But again, like you said, it was a sacrifice, and that's something we wanted to do in 2018. So that was a huge win for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, cool. So let's move on to the next win. So the next win is building our dynamic inner circle program, right?
Yeah.
And this has been, it's been tough and it's been great. It's been exciting, been awesome.
It's been fun.
It's been fun because we have that same feeling when we first started dynamic duo training 8 years ago, right? And the thing that people don't understand is like when you add another adjacent, like pretty much business to something like this inner circle, you're starting from scratch again. Yeah. You're building up a community again. You're building up the credibility, the positioning, showing that you do really good work and then getting it out there. So it's
having people trust you and believe that you can do that, right? Because we know we believe in our stuff, but you have to convince other people.
Yeah. So we're excited about this even going forward because this is something we had a vision with when we were doing dynamic duo training, for the first 5 years in, but we wanted to get the credibility, we wanted to
get the
experience, get the business mentorship, learn more about marketing, lead gen, sales, get in the mastermind so we can, help these people, not just be like somebody that is, new into this and just be like, oh, I'm a business coach and I'm going to promise you a 6-figure online business. That's bullshit.
I'll talk about that more in the practical application.
Yeah, we will. But yeah, we're excited about this because, we did workshops, pretty much 4 workshops this whole entire year in Southern California, which were awesome. They got better and better each year, and I'm excited about doing that going forward. And then we have like the VIP days here where people come to Los Angeles. We spend 6 hours with them. That's amazing. Just spending like that whole 6 hours with somebody that wants to build their online fitness business
or take it to the next level.
Take it to the next level. That's been awesome. And then developing our course as well too. Our 8-week home study course for those people that aren't ready for the VIP days. So it's been awesome.
And then also the accelerator program we have coming out as well too.
So got a lot of cool stuff coming out within the inner circle side of the business. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, and I just to kind of reiterate that, I mean, it is exciting. I'm still super excited about it because, again, it's so new. It's only been a year, but it's been a pain in the ass as well, too, because like any business, I try to coach, our clients on is that think of your business as a house, right? That's the analogy. Like when you build a house, you have to build that foundation. If you don't build that strong foundation within that first year or so, then you can't sit there and add layers to the house. It's not going to sit there and hold up, right, when shit hits the fan. So you have to have a strong foundation in the house, and then from there you start adding layers, you start scaling. So it's been fun though, and a lot of learning lessons, but the Dynamic Inner Circle Fitness Business Mentorship Program is here to stay, baby. All right, so the next one is growing our podcast and building relationships. I mean, we're podcasting right now, the Dynamic Lifestyle Podcast, and it's pretty awesome. I mean, we're right around that 140 episodes in. So we've been doing this for, I want to say 2.5 years it's been, and it's gone so fast. I still feel like we just barely started this like maybe a year ago. But I'm extremely proud of it because it's come such a long way. And it's going to get better and better, just with like the episodes, the content, you and I as interviewers, and just building the relationships with all these amazing guests that we've had on the show. And I'm so grateful for them because them taking the time to just spend with us and give the listeners quality wisdom, talking about their wins, their losses, their adversity, their expertise. It's amazing. And going forward, like I'm excited about it because I definitely see the vision on possibly building a retreat around this dynamic lifestyle, showing people how to live a dynamic lifestyle, maybe possibly a mastermind within the dynamic lifestyle. So it's very, very promising. And like I said, just now that we're interviewing people in person, that's a whole other dynamic, because if you're getting into podcasting, just really quick tip, the Skype interviews are great and everything if you have to start off with that, but I think at some point you have to kind of level up and challenge yourself to do in-person interviews. And not only for just the quality of the show, but video content for you as an interviewer to sit there and get better listening skills, speaking skills, one-to-one. It's not easy. So I know that we've come a long way with that. We weren't perfect at first, but like I've always told people, every master was once a disaster in that skill expertise. So you had to put in the reps and sets to keep getting better.
Yeah. So I'm excited about the podcast too. It's funny, we were talking to one of our friends yesterday, and I was talking to him about the episode we're doing today with the wins and losses, and he said that next time what we should do is just like, set up at the house and just like kind of chill there and have like a bottle of wine there. Kind of do like not a drunk type of like, podcasting, but, get a nice little like buzz and just kind of relax and be ourselves and just see kind of like what the podcast does and just like how it comes out. It's just something different,
So just kind of there, just like conversating?
Yeah, okay. Just some wine and stuff like that, and just seeing like what happens, just experimenting with it. And that's what's cool about this podcast is like experimenting and just like different formats, like, with the shows and interview-based, solo round, whatever it is. It's just cool trying to stuff
and
out
just,
like
just
that.
getting feedback from the listeners, seeing what they want and stuff. But I like that idea. I have to throw that in.
Yeah.
But no tequila shots?
Nah, don't get too sloppy.
That's funny.
The next win that we have is being in continuous student mode. That's something Eric and I really pride ourselves on, is being continuous students. We never sit there and act like we know it all, or that we don't need to learn anything else. We're constantly reading, we're constantly watching videos, listening to podcasts. When we do these interviews with some of these people, it's a form of personal development, because we're selfishly in a way asking questions that we really want answered and to learn. You know what I mean? So man, it's one of those things, guys, that you guys have to constantly be in student mode. Whenever you get to that point where you feel like you know it all and you don't need to learn anymore, that's scary, because there's so much to learn. There really is, and there's so many different ways to learn these days, like we talked about, reading, podcasts, videos, through osmosis, by being like in groups, masterminds, or like coaching days or something like that, So always being in continuous student mode, because it's kind of like what the quote Warren Buffett says, the more you learn, the more you earn. And I really believe that. It doesn't have to always be like earn money. You can still earn more stuff, more wealth. More connections, better relationships, stuff like that. So I'm excited about just learning more, even in 2019, because I feel like we haven't even scratched the surface of like learning like more and more about business, about fitness, about coaching people, relationships, everything you could possibly think about.
And just even more about ourselves. That's one thing people don't realize, is that they're so busy with all this external wisdom, right? Learning all this stuff, all these skills, which is amazing, but at the end of the day, they're not taking time to learn about themselves, right? They're not listening to that internal wisdom and really doing the work on themselves. And that's going to cost you going forward. I don't care what anyone says. You can be the most smartest person, the most successful person, but if you're not doing the work on yourself internally and learning about yourself and trying to get better, then there's no way. You're going to crash and burn. And it's just, everything you do is not going to be fulfilling, and you're not going to be happy going forward. So that's something I'm looking forward to. Another win I want to talk about briefly is our charity, right? Chris and I are big on, giving back to charities. We've been working with our charity, Together We Rise, for the last few years, which has been cool. And we always try to do our best to give back to this organization every month what we can, right? And sometimes you can't give back money. Sometimes you can just give back your time, and that's just as good as money, in my opinion. But the fact that we're doing something bigger and better, helping other people, helping kids, that's huge. That's just something that I have a big heart for. And what's really cool was that we just raised over $300 with this last charity event with Together We Rise for a kid to have a Christmas present on Christmas. And I'm just blown away, because the support from other people that gave donations. It doesn't matter if it was $1, $2, $5. The fact that they did that, it's just amazing. And it just goes to show there's amazing human beings out there that do care. And I know it's tough times for everybody, to sit there and give even a couple dollars here and there sometimes. But I'm blown away by it, because it's like we reached that goal, and that's going to change so many kids' lives, even if it's just a damn like little like $2 toy. The fact they wake up in the morning and have a Christmas present. So that was pretty awesome. So I look forward to doing more of that going forward in 2019.
Yeah, that's really cool. Okay, so the next win is probably when we took our trip to Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a cool trip, and it was after kind of like all the speaking engagements and stuff like that. You know, it seemed like, as you said, that was the last trip, then we were going to kind of slow down a little bit.
Yeah, that was right around at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, so
which was rough.
It was rough, guys. You know, it was all good stuff, but you know, like with a problem Eric and I have is like we're like machines. You know, we don't know when to shut it off, and we kind of like, you know, it's hard for us to say no. It's hard to, you know, sit there and kind of like balance other things out because we have such a big vision, you know, within, you know, dynamic duo training, the inner circle, you know, Chris and Eric Martinez brand, all that type of stuff.
And I think a lot of it is ego.
Yeah,
we have a big ego to where we think we could get everything done, but you know, sometimes we're wrong.
Yeah. So with all that, you know, we just kind of felt like we were chasing too many shiny objects. You know, we were getting out of alignment with what our true gifts and purposes were. You know, it's something just didn't feel right. And even our relationship as brothers was kind of just like, it wasn't the same. You know, we couldn't even sit there and just have like a normal conversation unless it was about business, you know, which is kind of sad when you think about it because we never used to have a business and, you know, we used to have normal conversations about sports and, you know, just like dumb stuff. So
girls.
We were aware of that, you know, so we went down to Colorado for 3 days and spent it with one of our personal growth, you know, coaches and mentors, Philip McKernan. You know, we had him on the podcast, so check that out. But it was amazing, you know, because it's exactly what we needed. It was another pair of lens that we weren't seeing stuff, you know, that non-biased eye, you know, and he helped us kind of get everything back in alignment, you know, with what we want to truly do going forward with our purpose, our gifts, our talents, and everything like that. So it was good because the rest of the year, I felt like we were pretty focused on like what we're truly supposed to be doing, being in alignment with it. And that's why I'm just excited, like going forward in 2019 too, to kind of carry that momentum over.
Yeah, you know? No, I agree, and it's huge. Like I said, it just goes back to what I said earlier, where it's like you can have all the success, you can build all these businesses, but at the end of the day, it doesn't fulfill you. It doesn't. You know, if your relationships with your close ones are not there, it's just like a huge like just gap and like hole just there missing. To where it's just like, why am I doing this every day? You know, if I can't even sit there and have this relationship with like my brother, most importantly. And just think about how many people are doing this, you know, in today's world because they're chasing trends, they're chasing shiny objects, they want to be an entrepreneur. Maybe that's not really what their true calling is, but they're doing it because they're chasing the shiny objects and the trend.
Yeah.
And it's ruining their relationships, it's ruining them as people. So you just got to be careful. So I'm very grateful that we caught that. And we seeked help, most importantly, because we could have sat there and had the ego and be like, no, I don't want to spend money on this. I could fix this myself, but we couldn't. We really couldn't.
Or we could have spent the money like on like another project, thinking that was going to
put it back into the business. We could have easily done that.
We could have done that, but it was the right decision to invest in ourselves and seek help. So that's a good tip for you guys. If you guys are feeling overwhelmed, just something's not right, it's a gut feeling, you guys don't feel like you guys are in alignment, just seek help. You know, life coach, personal growth coach,
even a therapist.
Even a therapist. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's no shame in it. You know? Yeah. So that was a big win. Okay, so the last win I want to wrap up with in 2018 was what we got this from. I consider Mike even a mentor and a friend. Mike Zeller. So huge shout out to Mike Zeller. He's an amazing human being, very gifted as well too. And he talks about figuring out what your zone of genius is. And we're still trying to, you know, really kind of clarify this a little bit more, but it's getting more and more clear. So what Mike's whole philosophy with the zone of genius is, you have to get really clear within who you are and your strengths and weaknesses, you know, as a coach, as an entrepreneur, whatever you want to do in life, right? So if you guys can imagine a bullseye, right? Like a big bullseye target that you throw darts at, just picture that. See how the rings keep expanding out, right? And then closer and closer comes that little red bullseye that you want to hit with the dart. So that's kind of like the analogy, and the way you want to look at your zone of genius is that you want to start from the outside of those layers, from that the little red spot, the bullseye, and each year you want to sit there and close in on that bullseye and get closer and closer to that small little circle, right? That little zone. Mm-hmm. So if that doesn't make sense, just be like, Eric, what the hell are you talking about? But it was a great analogy. It hit home with me because it's true. It takes a long time to get really clear on your goals and your vision and who you are as a person, and is it really serving you on a day-to-day basis? Because again, I could sit there and lie and say, yeah, like I'm fine, that, you know, this is great. I enjoy doing all this stuff, but sometimes it's like I feel like I'm just bullshitting myself. So I have to just call myself out, you know. So I think that was great that we met with Mike. And it goes back to just meeting with mentors, having, like-minded friends that have been through this, right? To just see your blind spots. So that was a huge epiphany for me, because that has made me so excited going into 2019, just because I'm getting more and more clear as who I am and my strengths and weaknesses as a coach and what I want to do going forward.
Yeah, spot on. I mean, can't really add anything to that, but yeah, we did some exercises and stuff that Mike gave us that has helped a lot. But like you said, it's a work in progress, just like anything else. Like that we haven't hit that bullseye yet.
No, not at all.
It's very close, and each year it's going to start getting closer and closer. But anybody that sits there and says like, oh, like I'm so absolutely 100% clear on what I'm doing and my purpose, and I have so much clarity and this and that. It's like, oh man, they're full of shit. It's like you can have probably a pretty good understanding of it, but man, nobody has it all figured out.
No,
not everybody
knows
exactly how clear they are on their goals, their vision, all that stuff. Like it's one of those things where it's a constant work in progress.
And that's
it
the problem,
changes, you evolve.
And you put so much pressure on yourself because you're like, oh my god, like why can't I figure this out? Why can't I get clear?
On Instagram,
blah blah blah, and it's just like you get so just you put so much pressure on yourself, you start shaming yourself to where it's just like it clogs your brain to where literally you can't see shit and get clear. So it's very real. So I mean, that was a big win for me. So guys, if you guys are listening to that, just understand that nobody has it figured out. It's going to take a long time for you guys to get really clear on what you guys want to do, and that's okay. That's the beauty of the journey.
Yeah. All right. On to
the losses. 100 pages worth?
Man. I don't know. Should we get into it?
There's like so much silence.
Losses.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Let's get it over with.
Okay. The first biggest loss that really stood out is dynamic duo training did take a hit.
Oh yeah.
It took a hit the entire year. And there's a lot of reasons for it. I'm not going to get into every single reason for it here. But one of the biggest reasons is obviously because, just the direction we're going and evolving, as far as, the inner circle and helping people out that way, the podcast, all that stuff kind of, took over for a lot of the years, or for a lot of the majority of the year. And that's the thing is like, it's not like we ever didn't, we always have served our clients, always have gone above and beyond, showered them with customer service, made them feel special, got them results, everything like that. So it was nothing that we ever did as like coaches, right? It was more, I think, just kind of the perception of like people looking outside to the inside of like what we're kind of doing, and that's what like made it kind of take a toll, because people were kind of confused on like, what are these guys really doing? Are they fitness coaches? Are they fitness business coaches?
I agree. I don't blame them.
There was confusion there, and I think there's confusion too for us. That's why we seek like a mentor and
because the first like 6-7 years when we started this,
it was all
fitness. That was all we were about. We just lived and breathed that lifestyle, just bodybuilding, just like macros, nutrition, like just all in, just this and that, and it's great. It was great while that lasted, but that's not who we are today, and you can't sit there and fake it, and keep saying that, oh, that's who I am, but you're really not.
Exactly. Yeah. So we've kind of pivoted, with dynamic duo training going into the inner circle, and we still have dynamic duo training. We're really trying to evolve that into kind of like the new era of fitness, which our book is centered around, because that's kind of the lifestyle that we practice and preach within, fitness for ourselves around those 5 elements. So we're still doing that. Dynamic duo training isn't going anywhere.
We're still fitness coaches.
We love fitness. We love coaching people in fitness and changing their body compositions and all that type of stuff. But we want to add the other elements within it.
Yeah, and I think
mindset.
Yeah, it's good to share kind of like the solution that we kind of have like going forward. Well, it's a theory that we have and we're going to try out, and I want to share this because you guys are probably thinking, well, how are these guys going to solve this problem? So our goal in 2019 is to definitely scale down on clients, right? We used to take on a ton of clients each of us, but we cannot do that anymore because we have 2 businesses and we have other clients, fitness business clients, personal trainers, fitness enthusiasts that need our coaching and time, right, to build their business. So we can't sit there and take on a lot of fitness coaching clients. So what we're doing is kind of rebranding, dynamic duo training, like Chris said, going more into, the concepts in our book, The New Era of Fitness. So we started a new Instagram page at The New Era of Fitness. So we're going to be posting nothing but fitness content there. No more content of fitness is going to be posted on Chris and Eric Martinez. That's just more of our personal brand, the Dynamic Inner Circle, and the Dynamic Lifestyle Podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it because I think people are going to start seeing that, they're going to start seeing, okay, these guys are kind of back in alignment with what they're doing.
Yeah.
That, they are, fitness coaches, but they are business coaches at the same time, and they're just not going to take on a big client load.
Yeah.
And I'm more excited about, not working with, competitors, bikini clients, things like that, because that's just not who I am. And I can't sit there and fake that anymore. I have that skill set to get that, to help those people do that, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be known as those coaches anymore. I want to help people that live and breathe, the lifestyle that we do. Just more, busy people, entrepreneurial lifestyle. So that's kind of like our solution to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so another loss is definitely chasing shiny objects and falling off track and getting out of alignment, like we talked about earlier. And again, it happens, and we're not perfect. It's easy to do, and I this is why I try telling my inner circle clients that don't chase shiny objects. I know it's hard, but it's there's so much great marketing out there, so many good people that position themselves that speak to you to where it's just you gravitate towards it, right? And it's you want to test it out, you want to be a part of that, of what they're doing, but sometimes it doesn't turn out to be what you expected, or it's not in alignment with who you are and your goals going forward, right? So it's great. I'm not mad at it. To me, it's I'm always going to say, if I have an itch, I want to scratch it, or else I'm going to live with that what if, right? So it's I chased some shiny objects and they weren't what I expected, and it's fine. I lost some money. It's okay. It's part of being a business owner, an entrepreneur. And yeah, I fell off track a little bit, but now the beauty of it is I spent this whole pretty much end of the year, the last quarter, really figuring that out, talking to the right people, and just rewiring my mindset to be more in alignment with who I am and what I want to do this year in 2019.
Yeah, 100%. Kind of like we talked about, chasing the shiny objects and the wins that we talked about, and going to Phillip and all that stuff. So yeah, definitely. Okay, so the next loss would be just not spending enough time with just family, friends, things like that. And I think too, just like that first quarter we talked about, just traveling so much, speaking and stuff like that, that isn't the lifestyle we want, because that's the toll and price you pay, is being gone so much and not being able to be around family functions or friends.
But aren't you glad that you tested it out?
No, it is, because then you just realize that that's not really what you want.
Exactly.
You kind of scratch that off the list. It'd be cool to do a speaking engagement 1 or 2 times per quarter, but not as many as we were traveling like that. It's just too much. So it made me realize that going forward, I do want to spend more time with friends, and not go back just to see our family, mom and Mike, for only 3 times out of the year. That's just kind of bullshit in a way. They're only 8 hours away, so I'd like to go see them more often instead of just 3 times, so yeah, it's a good eye opener, as far as seeing what's truly important: family, friends, relationships, stuff like that. I think that is, you keep getting older and going through just life and stuff, you start really realizing that is the most important stuff at the end of the day, is family, relationships, and stuff like that.
It is, and I love what Ed Milet says, and he says that people matter, things don't, right? So people as in your family, your relationships, those are the things that really matter, because they create memories, experience, they fill your heart with love and joy. Things, materials, those things don't last. I mean, yeah, it's an instant, gratification of dopamine, blah, 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 but it doesn't last. It's a short, temporary escape and fix. That's all it is. Yeah. So, yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to this year to really try to just, spend more time with family. I mean, just even be a better boyfriend. You know what I mean? To my significant other, be a better brother to you. Mm-hmm. Everything, and it's challenging, but it's I'm up for it. It's I know I need to step it up on that. Yeah. So the next loss in 2018 was we didn't launch our mastermind or retreat, and I'm a little kind of man, I don't know how to put this, but a little sour about this, just because I'm a little disappointed in myself, just because I'm so big on that. I want to create a mastermind or a retreat, like a 2 to 3 day retreat, really, really bad. I mean, it's going to happen. It's going to happen either this year or the next, but I'm just a little disappointed and feel like it was a loss in 2018 because I didn't get it done. But that's my own fault. I take full responsibility for that. just too much other shit going on, too much other stuff that I put, my eggs in the basket and focus on towards like, I couldn't give a mastermind or a retreat all of me. And that is one thing I will not do, is if I create a mastermind or a retreat, I'm going to go all in on that. I'm going to give all that I have on that to those clients, those people, serve them, go above and beyond, because that is what they deserve. But I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that this year, and I'm not afraid to admit it. But absolutely, to me, it was a loss in 2018. So hopefully 2019 and beyond, we can get that done.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like what you said. It's just if you're not going to be able to go all in and go above and beyond for these people, with just too many other things going on right now,
and don't do it.
There's no rush. It's going to be there. It's not going to go away. So. Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
And I want to clarify this real quick. When I mean like going all in on something, I'm not saying that it has to be perfect, like 100%, because let me make this clear. Nothing is 100% perfect. Nothing in life, no business, no seminar, no workshop, no mastermind, they're not perfect. So if I could be 80%, perfect there, then that's all that matters, right? Because I can't stand that when people say, oh, it has to be perfect. It has to be perfect or it's just going to fail. And that doesn't happen. There's no such thing as perfect.
Yeah. All right.
Why are you laughing?
No, it's just funny because I can just go off on a rant on that when people, they use that excuse of perfect because it's just they're scared and other stuff, but I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah.
I don't feel like getting all cray right now. The next loss is when we hired a digital marketing team. And I don't want to say it's a loss. It was another lesson learned. It's a good learning lesson.
It was a loss to me.
But Eric was way more sour than me on that one. We used to argue a lot, get into it about this. But we made a commitment to just hire a digital marketing team for 3 months, and obviously spend probably around $10K for this. This was the investment of $10K for 3 months. And it was time, though. We had to do this because we built out so many different offers and assets within our business. We had to. So many funnels, all this type of stuff. So we had to do it. We had to test it out.
But within the context of Dynamic Duo Training.
Yeah. So we had to test this out with the digital marketing team. We couldn't do it ourselves. And, it didn't go the way we wanted to. It just didn't, flat out. We kind of spent all this money and, just realized that, whatever it was, the targeting, the offers, whatever. It just didn't work at the end of the day, So we pretty much, lost 10K. But like I said, I learned a lot because it made me realize that 2 things. Okay, if you're going to go down that route of paid advertisement, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, you better be ready to spend a lot of money and play with the big fish, because it takes a lot of money to spend, to get yourself out there, your product and stuff like that through ads.
We're in an era of it's pay to play.
It's pay to play. The more you have to spend, the more you're going to get it out there. That's just how kind of it is, And the other thing is, it made me realize that don't always, rely on ads.
Yeah.
Be a little bit more resourceful, right? Hustle a little bit more, Just do the things that people don't want to do, And a good example of that is when we had our workshop. We ran ads too, right? But we sat there and hustled our asses off. Literally, we were calling gym owners in San Diego, in Orange County, in LA, personally inviting them, right? So that's hustling. The next thing we did was we were looking for, personal trainers and gym owners on Instagram through hashtags in SoCal. We would sit there and DM them and personally invite them, right? So that all didn't cost a penny of advertisement, right? No overhead for that. Just time, right? Hustling, just a little bit more sweat equity, being resourceful. So it was a good lesson, and that's a lesson for you guys too. Nothing wrong with investing in a digital marketing team. Just do your research, make sure you got the budget to do it and a good game plan, and then also be resourceful and just hustle a little bit more, do the little things people don't want to do.
And do a lot of meditation and deep breaths,
and then have your beers and mimosas on weekends.
Because I don't even want to give my opinion on this because it just makes me really upset.
Let's get into the next loss.
Right when I start thinking about it. Okay, so the last loss I want to talk about in 2018 was, and this one's definitely a big one, and maybe some of you guys can't relate and some of you guys can. So just the battles here in Los Angeles. So we have lived in Los Angeles for 2 years now, right? So we started off in Orange County for 3 years. So again, we wanted to come and test out the waters in Los Angeles, and to me, playing the big leagues. This is the big boy leagues here. That's just how I feel, because it's a whole other world out here. It really is.
So you want to play in the NBA? You don't want to play in
the NBA, the NFL, the MLB.
You want to play in the D League?
No. I want to play with the big boys.
All right.
So yeah, and no regrets, nothing, or else I would have just lived with too much regret in my life if I would have never came out here to LA and experienced everything here. So I don't know if I'm going to stay here going forward, but that's a whole other discussion. But absolutely, there's been so many losses here in 2 years, just mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I mean, if you've lived in LA, you know how much of a grind it is, how hard it is, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, to just get up every day out here and just battle and play offense. Because out here, you can't sit there and play defense. You don't have a day to spare to play defense. Every fucking day counts. You have to wake up with that offensive mindset and just go, go, go. And be ready to battle, be ready to get knocked down, be ready to sit there and cry some days, want to throw in the towel, everything. So that's how I felt, several times within this past year of 2018. Mm-hmm. It's like, why am I living here? Why am I doing this? Just even how expensive it is. It's just like people are like, oh man, you could live like a king somewhere, where it's just less expensive. I'm like, yeah, I probably could, but that's not going to fulfill me either. It's like, this right now is part of my journey, is battling and seeing what comes out of this, because I might not know what the answer is right now to all these little tests of adversity, because I have had a lot of wins here as well too, but I want to save a little bit more losses. And I don't know the answer to what they are, but maybe I'll get some clarity on that going forward. But yeah. Absolutely, I mean, LA just itself has just been huge losses here in 2018.
Yeah. And also a lot of wins here in LA too.
Yeah, I don't want to say that.
A lot of good stuff too, but yeah, it's hard as hell.
Yeah. I mean, we've built an amazing network out here, relationships, our podcast. I mean,
exactly.
And that's things that people don't see, because you got to see the bigger picture when building relationships out here.
And out here in LA, proximity is power. Mm-hmm. It really is. So. Yeah, that's true. Okay, guys, so that was the wins and losses, all right? So now we really kind of want to focus on the practical steps to take into the new year. And this is going to be a lot of helpful stuff for you as well, too. So really take these practical steps serious, take some notes on this and implement them, because you can sit here and listen to us all you want and stuff, but if you're not implementing them, then it does no good. It really does no good. So implement this stuff, because this is stuff that we've implemented and we've helped some of our clients and stuff like that. And it works. It absolutely works. It just takes time, and it takes a little bit of work and planning, okay?
But it's also like a habit. It takes consistency.
Yeah. So I want to start off with the first practical step of know your zone of genius, okay? And it's like what we talked about, what Eric talked about with the bullseye, There's a lot of different exercises you can do on this type of stuff, like personality tests. What are some of the personality tests that people can do for this? It's Myers-Briggs, Tony Robbins, DISC one. There's another one that's no.
There's a couple other ones, I don't know.
Man, sorry, but there's things you can do with this. You can hire a mentor. You can hire a coach to seek, the outside stuff that you're not seeing. You can just do a brain dump of what your strengths and weaknesses are. You can reflect back on what were some of your biggest wins and losses were in 2018, and just start getting a little bit more clear on what you're so good at. What is your special, talents, your gifts that you have to offer to the world to solve problems, right? And don't put so much pressure on yourself thinking that you're going to figure this out in one day or even a week, and don't get super impatient. Trust us when we say this, because that's what we did. And it's like Eric said, each year or each month, that bullseye is you're going to get closer to that bullseye. Those circles on the outside are going to get very closer to your zone of genius on what makes you super good at something, Mm-hmm. So figure it out and start now. That's the practical step, is try to figure out what your zone of genius is. What are you so good at, your talents, your gifts, that are pretty much irreplaceable.
Yeah.
So try to figure that out.
Yeah. And another practical tip to kind of complement that too is I want to talk about is putting your mental and physical health at the forefront of everything. Yeah. And again, we're all so caught up in this fast-paced society with just technology, innovation, just go, instant, to where it's we don't have time to we don't even have time to sit there and breathe, and even just listen to the internal wisdom like I talked about earlier, and take care of our mental health, right? I always tell people, don't chase a six-pack, on the outside, chase a six-pack in the brain first. Build your brain up. Make sure that you're mentally healthy. I'm talking about even just like self-love and having and knowing that you have value to add to the world. Otherwise it's like, what the hell? You're gonna be walking around the society with just like a zombie. And if you really think about it, when is the last time, I'm asking I want to ask you as the listeners, when's the last time that you woke up in the morning and looked at yourself in the mirror? And I mean literally woke up in the mirror and just stared at yourself for like 2 minutes. Because I haven't, and I'm guilty of that. And I think that that's so powerful if you do that, because you could probably see a lot of shit, whether that's pain, happiness, whatever. If you stop for a minute and just had more thinking and just like reflecting.
Yeah.
And that's where it's so important with the mental health. It really is. And then the physical health, I mean, man, I'll make this short and sweet. If you're not physically healthy, I mean, what the hell is the point? You can't sit there and create more wealth. You can't sit there and create more love. You can't be happy, because you're always going to be battling your health, right? And it's like, I see so many damn like entrepreneurs these days that 20-year-olds look like they're like 40 years old because of their body structure, lack of muscle mass, lack of everything, because they don't take care of themselves. They're all just focused on team no sleep, team grind, just make money, chasing materials. And it's like, it doesn't matter how much money you have at the end of the world if your health is not there. You're going to sit there and battle so many health problems going forward. So go to the gym, get on, focus on your nutrition, go out there and take some classes. I mean, just keep it simple. You don't have to be so damn like rigid about, your fitness and everything, but just put it at the forefront, like literally.
Yeah, and just 2 like practical steps people can take with this, for the mental side of things to take care of their mental health is just take a goddamn day off.
Yeah.
Like whether that's a Saturday, Sunday, one day out of the week. Don't look at your phone, don't look at a computer, just take the damn day off, and just let your brain just rest, and I'm telling you, one day off, it's such a game changer. It's only one day off, but it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
And then, physical health, just schedule it in your goddamn, schedules every single day. Make it an anchor, a non-negotiable. I'm so tired of people saying, I can't schedule it, I don't have time, I have this and that. It is such bullshit at the end of the day. It gets under my skin so much. So I get so fired up about it, I really do. It's such bullshit. It is. Just put it in your damn schedule, make it a non-negotiable, make it a habit, and just get in the routine and learn to love it. That's it, geez.
Amen.
Up, man. Get fired up with that.
Amen.
All right. Next one is don't take your foot off the gas pedal, okay? And what I mean by this is I'm not saying for 365 days in 2019 to always be on the grind, on the hustle, like work mode and, like that. You don't have to be like that, right? But there's times where you need to understand phases where you need to keep that foot on the gas pedal, okay? And if that's like a quarter where you guys are, for 3 months just getting a bunch of stuff done, you guys are locked and loaded, you guys have your eye on the prize, you guys are in this flow, this momentum of building something or a work project, whatever it is, keep that foot on the gas pedal and finish it up, I see too many people where they say they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that, and then, they take their foot off the gas pedal just a little bit, and it breaks all the momentum, it breaks the focus, and then they're back to square one, saying, oh, I didn't have time, this came up, something threw me off on it, it didn't work out, all these excuses.
Wouldn't you say too, like planning ahead goes hand in hand with that?
It does, but it's just about just staying focused and keeping your foot on the gas pedal. That's the number one, thing that's really not talked about with success is focus. You have to learn how to focus, man. You have to. There's so many things trying to take our attention these days. The phone is the number one thing, social media too. So just stay focused and keep your foot on the gas pedal and, accomplish whatever goal it is, whatever dream you have, just stay focused and just keep your foot on the gas pedal, build that momentum and just get it done.
Yeah, and just understand too, just reframe your mind to understand it's not a linear road. You're gonna have ups and downs. Like, you're gonna wake up feeling like shit. You're gonna wake up feeling like you don't have value. You're gonna feel like you don't want to get out of bed and face the world. Everyone goes through it, and it's part of the journey, it's part of life, and if you can reframe that and understand that not every day is going to be sunshine and rainbows, then it just makes it easier to just go forward, and just planning ahead as well too. So the next practical application step is something Chris and I are huge on. You guys have probably heard us talk about this so many times, about hiring mentors, hiring coaches, to accelerate the learning curve, buy fuel, if we want to put it that way, because again, hiring mentors and coaches, they will see your blind spots. And once you do that too, it puts your ego to the side when you hire a coach or a mentor. And just picture a coach or a mentor with that helicopter vision for you, right? They're overseeing all the things that you can't see that are holding you back, the mistakes you're making. They could be very, very costly, whether it's time, whether it's money, heartache, all that. So I'm serious. Hire a coach, hire a mentor. You're worth it. It doesn't matter if the return on investment doesn't come right away. It's going to come with years to go, and especially just the mindset you acquire when you learn from people that have been through the trenches. I mean, it's game changing. And then here's an acronym that I want you guys to write down as well too. And I talked about this a few weeks back in an Instagram story, because we get a lot of questions about how do you look for a good mentor? What did you guys do, right? And maybe sometimes you look for one and he doesn't turn out to be the great mentor, or she doesn't turn out to be the great one. It's okay. It's going to happen. We all go through it. But if you remember the acronym, and David Bett, who's it? What's his name? David Bett?
No, Patrick Bett.
Oh, Patrick Bett David. Sorry about butchering that, but Patrick Bett David, I love his stuff that he talks about, and he talked about remembering this acronym T. So, like, a cup of tea that you're drinking. So TEA. So the T stands for this mentor or coach has to have theories, right? He's got to be able to hypothesize. He's got to have some proven models that he can just have theories to help you with your business. Then the E stands for experience. Experience is huge. If your mentor or coach has no experience, I'm sorry, I would never ever hire the person. I just wouldn't give that person the time of the day. And this is what pisses me off on social media these days, is that you have these big influencers with these massive numbers, right? And it's all popularity. It's not experience. And they might have a successful business the first 1 to 2 years, but it doesn't even, to me, that's not even experience, 1 to 2 years. We're talking experience from like 5 years, 10 years. That's real experience. So be very careful, guys, when you guys are chasing these influencers just because they've had massive success because of their numbers, and it's really easy for them to put shit out and make money. So,
and the same thing goes hand in hand, like with hiring like a fitness coach or something like that, right?
Same thing.
Do not hire somebody that does not have experience.
Exactly.
Right? Somebody can do a stupid show like one day and just be like, okay, well now I'm going to be a coach and give somebody a meal plan and give cookie cutter training program.
Yep.
Just after that. So you got to be very careful with that. You really do. And even like some of these fitness business and business coaches I see out these days, promising on their Instagrams that I'm going to help you build a 6-figure business, and it's like, holy crap! Number one, you better be careful if you are the consumer. Okay. Number two, if you're that fitness coach promising that, you better be very, very careful, because if you don't sit there and deliver that 6 figures that you're promising, you're going to get yourself in trouble, because, that person's going to be pissed off that you didn't deliver that promise. Then they're going to go talk, and then when they go talk, that's going to spread like wildfire, and there goes your reputation.
Exactly.
So
reputation
be very, very
so
careful.
Key. So back to that acronym, the last one, A, that stands for application. If this coach or mentor has no blueprint, no application, doesn't take action, then why would you hire this person? Why? It makes no sense. So I thought that was a great acronym to remember when looking for mentors and coaches, TEA. So, they have to have some sort of theories, they have to have some sort of experience, and they have to have some sort of application and proven track record.
Yeah, that's good, man. I never heard of that. That's really good, though. Okay. So the next practical application is taking planned time off. And this is a really good one that we learned from Mike Zeller. And I'm going to implement this full force in 2019. I'm going to implement this as well with some of our inner circle students as well too. Even our DDT client, our members too. This is good for everybody. This planned time off, and it goes back into what I was kind of talking about. Mental health, and then also keeping your foot on the gas pedal as well too. Mm-hmm. Right. This is a perfect model to implement with this stuff, and that's take one day off at least once a week. Mm-hmm. Right. Saturday, Sunday, whatever your days you want to take off, and then take at least a weekend off every month. Every month, just take a weekend off, just even if you're staying at home, just take a Saturday and Sunday off and be diligent about it every single month. Then the next one is every quarter, take a full week off.
Yep.
Full week, right? I know that's the hardest one. It's going to be hard as hell for us to do that too, right? Yep. But it is needed, especially after a quarter where you're keeping your foot on the gas pedal and you're grinding, you're hustling, you're in that flow, you're in that focus mode, and you're getting shit done. You need to take a week off and let yourself rest a little bit. Mental health, let your creative juices come back, and learn to come back into the next quarter or next project, next phase with some fire and some excitement and some creative juices and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's the same thing as I like to say is creating space.
Yeah.
You know, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to. It's so key. So the last one I want to just end with like a practical application is just, you know, really try to just, you know, be intentional with your lifestyle, you know, because again, life is so short. You know, tomorrow's not promised. It's not. We don't know, you know, what's promised the next day, but just be very intentional and just, you know, try to practice abundance. Try to just, you know, smile more. Just try to be a giver. Try to, you know, not be a taker. You know, just, I know it's hard, you know, and just try to center your lifestyle around the 4 pillars of life that we advocate: health, wealth, love, and happiness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know it's not hard to balance. I know it's hard to balance this all out, but I just think that if you are able to balance out health, wealth, love, and happiness, be a little bit more abundant, be a giver, not a taker, and just fucking smile more, be happy, you know, every day for just waking up. I mean, it's just going to make things that much more easier, and, you know, it's going to rub off on people. I'm huge on energy. So, yeah, you know, that's kind of my closing, you know, application when it comes to 2019 and to really practice.
Yeah, let me give them one more as a bonus because I'm feeling good right now. Like I'm pumped up about this episode.
Let's do it.
Try implementing these 3 things into your day or into your week, you know, in 2019 and making them non-negotiables, anchors, okay? So the first one is your me time. And under this me time umbrella, you know, carve out some time for a morning routine. You know, I'm not going to go into depth with this, but create a morning routine for yourself, whether that's 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 60 minutes, and then create, you know, a shut-off time, right? Every single night, just, you know, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Give yourself at least 2 hours prior to bed to let your brain shut down and just rest a little bit, you know? So implement that, which is like me time, okay? The second thing is implement time like in the day or in the week, block it out or schedule it for time to think, right? That's one thing that's so underrated is like we don't have the time to really just think. And if you look back at this book called Think and Grow Rich, what he meant by that was that's how you got rich, because you had time to think, right? Because of all ideas and stuff like that. And it's not like it's work and grow rich. You know what I mean? Hustle and grow rich. It's think and grow rich.
Yeah.
You know, so we need to sit there and think a little bit more. Plan it into your day, whether it's 1 hour, but real silence, just time to think.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean you have to sit there and grow rich as far as money, but it'll give you time to think about like, how do I increase my relationships? How do I increase like my career? You know, other type of stuff. It doesn't have to be like money all the time, but just figure out how to schedule some time to think. And the last thing is schedule in, like whether it's in the week or at the end of the day, some fun time, like a little mini reward for working, you know, hard and doing all that. Whether that's like watching a Netflix show, going to a movie, going out to play like miniature golf,
Just be a kid
go to
again.
a comedy show, you know, like whatever it is. But just schedule some fun time in there as well too to like reward yourself. So that's all about just lifestyle right there, man.
Yeah.
Just implementing these things to enhance your lifestyle and what we call live a dynamic lifestyle. It's not easy. We're working on it still, but damn, if you can implement this stuff and constantly work on it, your lifestyle is just going to be badass. It really is. You know, with all the other stuff going on in life, it's going to be badass.
Whew.
This was good. This was good.
That was a great way to finish strong with that.
This was good.
Okay, guys. So that is pretty much it for today's episode on the wins and losses of 2018, and most importantly, we hope that the practical applications that we gave to you guys really helped. For us, just in return, is just take action on them, try them out. If they're not for you, that's okay. At least you said you tried. And hopefully our wins and losses resonated with you and really just helped as well too. But other than that, I got to give Chris a fist pump because this was a great episode. Yeah. I mean, I felt we just really brought the heat on this one, so well done. But yeah, guys, other than that, if you guys could do us a favor, share this episode with anybody that would find it valuable. We're always trying to get good content out there, and we truly appreciate that. So other than that, you know, make 2019 dynamic. Go out there, play big, not small, take some risks, and most importantly, just fucking enjoy life. All right, guys, so until next episode, go out there and live a dynamic lifestyle. Cheers. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this podcast video. If you guys are interested in watching and listening to more of our podcasts, make sure to click the link in the description box below. We have a ton of awesome podcasts. I mean, we're up to like 130 right now. We're giving one out every single week.
and we're actually bringing on some of the big guests out there, and everything's really centered around lifestyle, habits, systems, overcoming adversity, how someone got from point A to point B, and some of the rituals and lessons learned throughout that entire journey. So you guys will gain a lot of value from these podcasts, whether it's through audio or here on YouTube, okay? So make sure to check out the link in the description box, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.